Hey everybody, welcome to Open House Live. I'm Sarah Gore. I'm like a couple of moments late, 1 minute late, because I'm sitting in my kitchen today and my kids are outside playing with their new water toys, and it's so loud when the water's on. So I'm here. Thank you for joining me. I hope you guys are liking these videos because these interviews, these live sessions, because I am so loving doing them. So thanks for joining us every week. And we just want to know kind of what you want to see more of. Would you like to hear from more designers? Do you want to hear from more agents? Do you want to know what's going on in the market? Do you want to know how to sell your place, how to stage it maybe? Maybe we'll get a little Cheryl Eisen in here. Let us know what you're thinking and DM us so we know kind of what you want to see. Hi, everybody. I see a lot of people signing in. So my guest today, I'm really excited. My guest today is Ryan Serhant. I have known Ryan professionally for several years. I'm going to ask him how long it's been because I don't totally remember how long it's been. Hi, Ryan. But of course, you know him as a huge successful selling agent. He is an author, and of course he is the star of Bravo's $1 Million Listing New York and of Sell It Like Serhant. Got his own spin-off out of it too. We're going to talk to him about how he got so successful, what it is that drives him, and how he keeps it going. So I think he's waiting in the wings, so to speak. So let's bring him in. Let's bring in Ryan. Let's see if this works. My thing is touchy today. There he is. Where are you? Here he comes. Here he comes. Hi, Ryan.
All right, it worked.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I was just saying before you got on here that I've known you for many years now, right?
Yeah.
So how long has it been that I've been interviewing you on New York Live and you've been doing open house?
Yeah, I want to say probably $1 Million Listing first aired season 1 in 2012. So
Okay.
probably 8 years. I mean,
Wow. Wow.
yeah. I mean, have you been? Yeah. So that's in my mind. That's when we started.
Yeah, because open house or New York Live started in 2009.
Yeah.
And open house started 2007.
Yeah.
So
There
this
you
has
go.
been a long running thing. It's so good to see you though, because a lot of times for this show, I'm not with you. You're in the field shooting something, and I'm just kind of tossing to you. So
Yeah. I'm in my office actually.
okay. So yeah, where have you been quarantining? Is your office in your house in Brooklyn?
No, I'm still building that house, and it might take me 100 damn years.
Yeah, I
Um,
heard.
We are unbelievable. So no, we spent the first 4 weeks of quarantine off in New Hampshire. My parents have a lake house, and so we went up there when we thought that Cuomo was gonna shut down the bridges and tunnels,
Yeah.
like in the movies. And
Yeah.
it's so crazy thinking about that time. It was so scary and surreal in the beginning of March,
Yeah.
But then we came back a couple weeks later when we realized that the world hadn't come to an end, and you just got to keep moving on. And I've been back in the city working ever since, and so it's been super busy because everybody else has been away. So what do
Yeah.
you do when all the real estate brokers leave your town? You go home. You go back to your town. It's great.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, so how has it been? Like I know you still can't do open houses, right? My family's walking in right now. Hi guys.
Yeah, good.
Are you doing open houses or are you doing private appointments? What's happening?
It's all it's actually kind of nice.
Yeah.
It's all by private appointment. There's no open houses, there's no events, there's none of that stuff. So it's just by appointment, which means you've got a price even better than before because you're not going to waste any time. And it's good as an agent. I like it.
Yeah.
As an agent, I like it because we would do open houses all day, every day, Saturdays and Sundays, and and then the buyer comes through with their broker on a Tuesday afternoon, and on the weekends you get looky-loos and people from the building and from the
Yeah.
neighborhood, and then you do these events, and agents come to them who just want food and who want wine, and so can't do that anymore. Go get your own
Right.
food and your own wine. Yeah.
Wait, do you think that people come to open house? Are you at all the open houses?
For our listings, no, I don't do the open houses. My team is there for the open houses, but for the events, I have to. Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say, do you think people come to certain listings because of your celebrity on the show?
Oh, they come looking for me all the time. My team tells me every weekend. Like we had 5 people through this open house. 3 of them came to hunt you down. 2 of them were real, and so it's just like
Yeah.
we're just very used to it at this point. But yeah, I mean, I'm very accessible, and so a lot of times it's honestly it's foreigners who watch the show all over the world who then come to New York for vacation, and then they see all our listings and our open houses and just say, oh, I'm going to go to one of those, and maybe it'll be on TV. But you can't do that now because they can't even get here.
Yeah, I know. So now that's why you like the private listings. So wait, let's talk about quarantine though for a little bit, because you've been obviously with your wife and your daughter, right, Zena?
Yeah, but they're in Greece now.
Oh, they're in Greece?
They made it. The consulate guy gave them approval, and they were able to go to Greece. So they just got to Greece.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So how are you feeling without them during this time? Are you just getting more work done?
No, I'm alone. I'm completely. I learned how to do the laundry.
It's about time.
I did 1 load of dishes. I hope it. I put that in this morning. I hope my apartment isn't covered in soap. So all I do is work. Like because they go to Greece all summer, every summer, and so last summer was the first time they went for a long period of time, and they took the baby. And I had this whole idea in my head that I was going to party it up. Like live like pre-marriage and all that. All my friends were ready. They're like, dude, let's do it. The minute they get on the plane, let's go. I bought all these video games. So I'm like, I'm gonna have all this time. And then next thing I know, every day it's like 10:30 p.m. and I'm like, I'm still in the office. God damn it, I forgot to be cool today. Yeah. And so it's terrible. So I just work.
Hey,
I just work the whole time.
Being successful is better than being cool anyway, right?
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Wait, so let's talk about your renovation though. What's going on with the townhouse renovation, and why is it taking so long? Did you have to halt it when COVID stopped?
Yeah, we got shut down for 3 months. That was terrible because it's not like the cost goes away.
Right.
So that was honestly the toughest part about it, is like you're spending all this money every month, and then you're delaying, right? And then the delays, there's a supply chain. So all the stone is not based here. And then if the electrician is then backed up, then the plumber can't do their job. And then the DOB is completely backed up for 3 months. So it's like what was going to be a 1-year renovation that started in the beginning of 2019. We're not going to move in until January 21.
Oh my God. Wait,
Classic.
So have you changed any of the plans? Like now that this has hit and there's a lot more, working from home, and have you changed how you're going to, you think about living in the house?
No, because we designed the house to be all encompassing. I mean, it's a lot of house. I mean, it's 8 bedrooms. Right? What?
Is it 2 townhouses?
No, but it's a big one. It's 26 feet wide. It's 8,000 feet. It's got 8 bedrooms for all of my clothes. But there's we already designed it to kind of be like a forever house. So it's got a massive private gym for me. It's got a really cool home office and a great backyard and roof. And so honestly, all COVID has done is made us appreciate it far more. So like right now, the deals we're doing right now are for townhouses. Like the sales that we're doing are for apartments that have outdoor space, and for townhouses. Like we sold, 357 West 17th Street in the city, had been on the market for 3 years.
Wow.
We sold it during COVID completely virtually for $15 million.
So that's what I was going to ask you. So what's happening with the market? And is it, I would assume right now it's a buyer's market.
Yeah. Depends on where everybody's listening from. If you're in a city, an urban market, it is 100% a buyer's market.
Yeah.
If you are anywhere, like I do a sales course, right? We have a really big online sales course, and we
sell it like Sirhan.
Yeah, so we have the sales course everywhere. And I will tell you, I've actually been very unhelpful to all of our course members because 98% of them are not in a city. And all during COVID, they're like, this is the craziest market I've ever been in. We're going to retire. Like, if you're a broker in Westchester or in Colorado, you're going to end up having the biggest year of your entire life. My parents have been trying to sell their house in Colorado for 5 years. Okay, 5 years. They put it on the market. It's like the annual thing. Let's put it on the market, see if it sells. Yeah. In 1 week, they put it on the market 2 months ago. In 1 week, 4 buyers, all full asking. 2 people went over the asking, and it's all from COVID. 2 people came from LA, 2 from Denver.
Yeah, see, that's what I was going to say. Don't you think a lot of people are going to move out of New York City, go to the suburbs? I mean, I feel like Westchester, which is where I am, I'm in Westchester, is going to be like a total hotspot.
You should sell. We should talk. I've got like 60 buyers that should have bought in the West Village that now want your house.
Yes. Well, I know my husband keeps saying we should put our house on the market. I'm like, I don't want to leave our house, but no, I feel like everyone that we talk to though does want to leave the city, and it seems like that's going to be kind of where everyone's moving to. So, what do you think is going to happen with the prices in the city with everyone moving out?
It's not great. Not great. We'll have to see in the next 6 months what pricing really does. But people are just very negotiable right now. But you have to remember, New York City and a lot of our urban markets have been in a buyer's market since like 2015.
Yeah.
So things have been super negotiable, lots of inventory for a long time.
Yeah.
All COVID has really done is just taken out foreigners because they can't get here.
Right.
And removed people who need to buy because of work, because now they might not have to go to the office for another year. Yeah. And then it's taken the school situation and thrown it up in the air, because if your kid is going to remote learn, even if it's not guaranteed, even if it's just a possibility, a lot of people are saying, you know what, I'm not waiting on the school system to tell me what I'm doing. I got to figure out my life. So you know what, we're going to do a gap year. 1 year, you're going to school in Palm Beach. So that's like what a lot of people are doing.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy too that all these things are changing. I talked to Josh Flagg from $1 Million Listing LA not too long ago. It was kind of in the beginning of this whole pandemic, and he was saying that the top end of the market isn't changing because all those people with all that money, it doesn't affect them that much. Are you seeing the same thing, or has that changed?
No. We're seeing the same thing. Well, I mean, yes and no. The top end still has kind of the same traffic, but the buyer base has gotten smaller because, like I was kind of saying, especially in New York, the greatest thing about New York is if you own here, you could sell to anyone. Like when you're ready to sell in New York, you could sell to anyone in the world. They have some sort of reason to be here, whether it's an investor or foreign national buying for children. Like we've sold $10 million apartments to babies. Okay, with families buying in the baby's name as an investment and a pied-à-terre. Like there's so many reasons why people buy in New York City. So your buyer base is huge, which is what spikes prices. But you take away a lot of those buyers. Now the deals that we're doing are all for New Yorkers.
Yeah.
And New Yorkers are predominantly renters. And so yes, the high end is still there, but for the next year, that's why you saw the Hamptons exploded. In the first month of COVID, every big listing in the Hamptons sold. Yeah. Same thing where you are, Westchester, same thing in Connecticut. It just took everybody who was on the fence about having that big second home, and it immediately just pushed them. Yeah. And now, I think as of 2 days ago, you can go to Wells Fargo and you can get a 30-year fixed for 2.83%.
Wow.
30-year fixed.
Low in how long? I mean,
never. No, first time in history ever. Oh, like zero times before.
So that's incentive right there. As a broker, that has to make you feel pretty excited because you're thinking, okay, so more people are going to buy homes and spend more money on them because the mortgage rates are so low.
Yeah, I mean, what I try to do is try to convince people to do the things that I want them to do. So, like, we just had renters in the city walking around, and they were going to look for they wanted a place to rent, like a 3 or 4 bedroom, and when we showed them the options to purchase and said, listen, you get a really great deal, plus look at this and look at that and look at your rates and look at the monthly payments, right? You live in your monthly payments. Even if you're getting a big loan, like can still be a great option. And we've been selling apartments that way.
Yeah. And it's so much better. I mean, you're making an investment too. I know you're big about making investments in property, making investments in yourself. You have these books, you have the courses. How did you get started with all that? Let me back up. Let me just back up for just like 1 second. Last time somebody did write in, they wanted to know how you got in real estate in the first place. This was your side hustle, right? Because you were an actor. Do you think acting helps you in sales? Yeah,
1,000%. Yeah. In my first book, In Sell Like Staring At It, I talk about that a lot, just because it's, your prior career preps you for your second career all the time.
Yeah, acting, I totally agree with that.
Yeah, acting, all I learned, and I had no idea it would be great for sales, was how to say yes and all the time, right? It's how to listen, really. Acting is listening. You listen to your scene partner, you listen to what they're saying, and then you learn how to respond instead of just replying. Like
Yeah.
most salespeople who are bad, they don't even hear what their clients are saying. They're just replying with what they think they should be saying. Come on, come on, come on, come on. And they're like, they're greasy and weird. But the best salespeople, they listen to what you're saying and they respond, right?
Yeah.
And you learn to memorize information. I mean, that's a big helpful tool for me to have now. Like I can look at a piece of paper really quick and then go up into a showing and just rattle off all the facts about the building in 1914 converted to co-op in 1949. Did you know this about the developer? Like it's that stuff. So it was super helpful. But yeah, I got into real estate because I ran out of money. And it was either move home to Colorado with my parents or stay in New York and get a survival job, a temp job, a waiter job, a bartending job, and I didn't want to do any of those. So I got into real estate.
So you went to Nest Seekers. Have you been at Nest Seekers from the beginning? Because that's compared to a Sotheby's or a Corcoran, it's one of the smaller agencies. So for somebody starting out, would you recommend kind of forging your own path in a smaller type agency than, like, what do you think?
Well, it's very different now. It's for anyone starting out. I would say you need to be a part of a team. You need to be a part of a place that is going to give you the resources to be successful in your own right. Right? Brands for brokerages don't really mean a whole lot anymore. Like the world is just different than it was 10 years, 20 years, 30 years ago. The real estate brokerage brands were created based on the corner that they were on and the files that they had on the apartments and the homes in the area, so on and so forth. Now it's what brokerage company is going to help you be the best agent you can be, and going to help you build your business and get leads. And if there's a good team there that can mentor you, that's where you need to go. So whether that's all at a smaller firm or a bigger firm, it's just going to come down to personal preference and what's right for you at the time.
Yeah, if you're a broker you don't start out as a broker, you start as an agent. If you're a salesperson starting out, how do you build your client list?
I built my client list on the street. I wasn't from New York. I didn't know anybody here. So I went and met people at Starbucks and Saks Fifth Avenue across the street from our office on 49th and Madison at the time. But you always... Yeah, I had business cards, and I would just ask people if they were interested in buying or selling in New York. Because you understand, when you have no money and you have to figure out how you're going to pay rent, all shame and embarrassment goes out the window. And so I talk to people about that a lot. Like, you got to find a wall to back yourself up against. Otherwise, you're always going to stay in bed. Like, you're going to stay comfortable. Why would you go and talk to a stranger on the streets? You can just go back to your regular job. And so... you got to take yourself out of that comfort zone. And I would introduce myself to to pregnant women. Pregnant women are great buyers, right? Pregnant women are great buyers.
They want a nest, right?
And they always need more space. They're making it right there. Okay. Yeah. And their partner is typically not as concerned as they are, especially in the first and second trimester. So you get them there and tell them how beautiful they are and how they look like they need more space. That's a good 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom renter or buyer. Those were my first clients.
I was pregnant when I was looking for this house, actually.
See?
Yeah. Yes. Okay, so let's ask some questions that people have written in about. Okay, so Barbara wants to know what's happening at the lower end of the market. The lower end. Yeah.
Lower end of the market is very active, right? Those are people that need to live somewhere. Like, their rents are coming up and they got to move. They need to be in the city or they need to be in that town. And so they want to buy something because they have the down payment and maybe they'll just get a better deal now. And so that buyer base hasn't changed. And even those investors, like, they're still there looking for good deals. And in New York, the low end, I would say, is anything under $1 million. And that stuff all moves. If it's priced right, it just sells.
Yeah, anyone listening from outside of New York City or outside of LA, when you say the low end is anything under than $1 million, the rest of the country is like, that's so crazy.
Yeah, the low end in the rest of the country is probably $100,000 to $300,000, depending on the marketplace.
For a decent house, for a nice house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could spend $250 on a nice house in a suburb.
Yeah, in the middle of quarantine here, we were losing a lot of deals. It was brutal because we were about to go to contract with people for, $2.25 million for a 2-bedroom with a home office in the East Village. And then those people were like, listen, I went for a drive, to South Orange, New Jersey. And for $800,000, I get a brick mansion with 5 bedrooms and a pool. And I would never do that ordinarily because the commute, and that just sucks. Why would I ever want to do that? But my boss told me we're not coming back to work until sometime 2021.
Yeah.
We're going to New Jersey. So I think that's been a big push.
And I think, I'm hearing from a lot of people that actually they are not going back, that they will be working from home permanently. So do you think that, people are looking for different things in their house? Like, have you seen a spike in home offices?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. Home offices are all the rage right now. And for the condo buildings that we develop, we're doing a lot of home office amenities. So in the apartments that don't have them, instead of doing huge lounges, we're doing like office pods. And so, but listen, like time heals all wounds, right? Yeah. At the end of the day, the suburbs have been around a lot longer than cities have. And like the trees aren't that great when there's no leaves on them, and you got to get in a car to go absolutely everywhere. And then your friends slowly start going back to the city, and then you see the restaurants are open, then you start getting that itch, and then you're like, why did I move to this? We got to go back. And so what I think is going to happen, I'm telling everybody, is just like, where it's going to be a weird 12 months from now, but next summer and next fall is going to be insane for cities because everyone's going to come back. All their 1-year leases, their 1-year deals, they're all going to be up. And then the work from home thing is great for a short period of time. And yes, you can be more productive because you don't have commute times. Like, I don't have to drive to work for an hour anymore, right? Or take the train. I can start emails at 7:30 a.m. Why not? But there is something to be said about meeting people and seeing people and being part of the conversation. So what's going to end up happening is the C-suite is going to come back to the office first, and then a handful of other people who stayed in the city, they'll ask, and that's fine. And then everyone else who moved out because it was such a great idea and had their home offices in these different outlying suburbs are going to start not being part of the conversation. And they're going to be on Zooms and emails, but it's out of sight, out of mind. And then Jimmy and Alice are going to start getting promotions, and now all of a sudden people are going to move back because they want to be in the conversation.
I live in the suburbs. Stop.
I'm just saying, you asked the question.
No, I know. And you know what? It was actually a really hard decision to leave the city. I lived in the city forever. I went to school in the city. I've been there since I was 19. And so when I started having babies, though, and my husband wanted to move out, I was like, I don't know. But for us, it was a really great decision. I'm only 30 minutes from Midtown. So
yeah, listen, the suburbs are great. But what I'm talking about is do you move to the suburbs to work there out of your own house for the rest of your life?
Right.
I don't know. Right.
Yeah, no, I don't know about that either. Okay, so Blaine Design wants to know, at what age did you become so confident?
That's book number 2, Big Money Energy. Pre-order. Go to bigmoneyenergy.com right now. What age? I'm not confident now. It's all relative. It's all relative. Like, I go in front of groups all the time where people are much smarter and greater than me, and I have no confidence, and I just feel like a total imposter. But I would say, like, once I realized that confidence is just mindset, and that was probably when I was, 26, 27, then I was able to wake up every day and kind of put on my mindset suit, right? That was a big reason why I wore suits and ties all the time. 1, to show respect for clients, but 2, because I was putting on like my bat suit, right? Yeah. And I was like, when I put on this suit and tie, even if it's the same suit every day, because that's all I could afford, like I will walk outside, and I'm the greatest real estate broker in the world, and no one can tell me otherwise. And it all comes down to what you know, right? Yeah. And like little mannerisms, looking people in the eye, shaking people's hands, and knowing that everybody is insecure in some way, shape, or form. But if you believe deep down that you're the best, you'll know it, right? And then slowly but surely, people will start to believe it.
I do believe too, though, that when you dress the way that you want to be perceived, like when you feel good, you do have more confidence. When you look good, it is a confidence booster. So maybe that's something that's important for like new agents to know out there too, is that, dress for success so that you're putting out the best image of yourself so people take you seriously.
Yeah, I interview real estate agents all the time, and I interview young real estate agents all the time. And anytime a young real estate agent or wannabe, right, comes into my office and they're in jeans and a t-shirt or something, the first thing I say to them is, man, one day I want to be as successful as you look. I want to be as successful as you are, where I can just dress that way. That would be great.
Yeah, where it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So I know that I wanted to ask this. I've seen a couple people ask this. $1 Million Listing. When are you guys filming again?
We start filming on Tuesday, and we've been down for 5 months.
Wow. So what do you miss about shooting that? I mean, it seems like it's kind of, there's competition. It seems like there's friendly
it's such
arguments.
a huge part of my life. I mean, you know this, right? I've been filming every week for that show, or for Salt Lake Sirhan, or for the wedding, or for the renovation stuff, like since December of 2010. So I'm coming up on 10 years straight of basically, other than holiday weeks, like every week I'm in front of a camera. And so when it shuts down for this long, it's just weird. It's like a part of my week is missing. And so it's a lot of work. So it's been a kind of nice, but at the same time, it'll be good to get it back, because it's good for our business, right? It's good for, I mean, we sell homes through that way. So it's good for our business. It's good for our clients.
How has, what was like Ryan pre-show compared to Ryan post-show? Like how do you compare the two?
I killed him. He's dead. I don't know who he is anymore.
Okay. So what part of him died?
Ryan pre-show was a lot less confident. He probably talked a lot slower, and I was much more unsure of what I wanted to do and where I wanted to be in life. And I was thinking about maybe going back to grad school, and I didn't really understand, like, is this real estate thing for me? Because I got cast on the show after being in real estate for like a year and a half.
Wow.
So yeah, like, and I started at the end of 2008, right as the world fell apart.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we started that in March of 2010, the whole casting thing. And it was just nuts. And so, yeah, I was still hand modeling. Ryan pre-show was still paying rent by holding phones for a living.
Soap opera too?
Yeah, As the World Turns. And they killed me on that one too. So yeah, didn't work out.
I got my SAG card with Erica Kane. All my children. That's how I got my SAG card. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good start. It's a good start.
Yeah, reality TV killed the soaps though.
Yeah, I know it did. So this is a real question from somebody. And it's from, they call him Hollywood. And his actual question is, which is my favorite, what have you learned from the one and only Sarah Gore? No joke. That's the question that he sent me.
I've learned everything I know about how to perform, and how to stay positive and consistent, and how to show up and do the job with a smile on your face every day. I've learned from you.
There you go. Thanks, Ryan. All right. Before we go, I just want to mention social media, because I know that it's really big in what you do. How important do you think social media has been for you, and it is for other people in this business?
It's our whole business now. I mean, it's more buyers now search on YouTube than they do on Google. They learn on YouTube than they do on Google. We sell that townhouse I just told you about. We made a video, a property tour, and the buyer's daughter saw it, showed it to the mom. They then reached out and they bought the house for $15 million. Okay. Like, YouTube is our biggest lead generator ever, which is why we do it so much and why I go so crazy on it. And it's massive. And then you pair that in with Instagram. I mean, it's how do you hit the whole world in one shot, right? Like, I don't have all these people's emails. And it's been massive for sales, for real estate, for everything. And we don't do print advertising anymore. I don't remember the last time I did print advertising. And all my sellers care about is Instagram and YouTube. They put it into my exclusive sales agreements now. They're like, am I going to get a property tour on your YouTube channel? Because I know that's how things sell now. I'm like, sure, no problem.
Wait, so obviously you're saving money then on marketing by using social media, but how does somebody that doesn't have like a huge Bravo following build their social media following so that they can sell properties on it?
Yeah, it's listen, and when I started, I mean, I didn't have a huge following either. It was just slowly but surely. You have to be, the number one thing is you have to have content that's interesting, okay? And you have to be consistent. Like, those are the 2 C's. Consistent content. Like, people come to me all the time like, well, I posted that thing last Monday. Like, okay. So
What'd you post today?
Yeah. So it's, when you first start, it's once a day. It's once a day, like you're going to the gym, and you want people to have a reason to follow you. And then you also have to be an engaging person. Like, you can't just post and expect everybody to come to you. You need to go onto other people's posts. You got to follow other people. You got to tag them. You got to hashtag on them. You got to go and DM them, reach out to people. Like, if you want to build a social media following, you have to treat it like a job. It's real work. I have a team of like 7 people. And just so doing that. Yeah, so all that advertising money I save is nothing compared to what I have to spend on all these guys. So like, it's such a process. But you have to, I think that the most important thing, once you make consistent content that is interesting, right, is you have to be engaging. You have to comment back to people and go and find other people and make it every day. Like, every day, find 10 other accounts that you're going to comment on their accounts.
You have to wear short red shorts with ripped shirts.
Yeah.
Stand over a pool too, because that is key.
You should see what these sellers say, like, look at me now as, like, they give me their listing. It's $20 million. I beat out all these other brokers. I'm like, okay, I'm going to show up tomorrow to do my property tour. And I show up dressed as Fred Flintstone. And they're like, who did we just hire? What is going on? I'm like, wait a minute. Let me rip the sleeves off my shirt. Yeah. And then they just, like, that seller actually walked out of his room, saw me. I looked at him. He looked at me. We looked back at each other. And he just turned right back around and went right back into his room.
You're like, trust me, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I was like, don't worry about the outfit. It's fine. It's I just need a certain amount of views. Someone will see it. We're gonna sell it. Don't worry.
Yeah, but I feel like one of the main themes of what we've been talking about here too is to have confidence. To really put yourself out there. Have some confidence. Don't be afraid of people saying no. And what else? Give me some final notes.
Yeah, and you have to listen. I was talking about this earlier today. You have to have structure, okay, in your day. You have to be disciplined with what you want to do. Structure and discipline are really, really, really important. Then you have to have a plan. So what's your plan, right? So if your goal in life is to lose weight, let's say, you have to have the structure to be able to wake up and go to the gym, and you have to have the structure to eat well, right? That's part of your structure, and that's part of the day. But then what's your plan? Do you want to lose 10 pounds, 50 pounds, 100 pounds? Do you want to fit into that bathing suit on July 1st next year? And that's really part of the plan. Like, what's the plan so you can have something to fight for, okay? And then you have to outlast everybody. It's structure, plan, outlast. Like, those are the 3 keys, I think, to being successful at anything. And then the outlasting is just having endurance for the win. Like, you got to realize that you are dropped into the middle of a marathon, except you don't know it's a marathon. You just have to run to the finish line.
Right. And
you don't know where the finish line is. Yeah. Well, it's going to be there, except you're going to be surprised when you win, because somebody else is going to come and they're going to say to you, hey, you look really good. You lost a lot of weight. And that's going to be a day you don't feel good. That's the day you're going to realize, holy shit, I just won and I didn't even know it. Yeah.
So Sell It Like Sirhan was the first book. You can pre-order Big Money Energy. Are you working on the next book already? I feel like you probably
No, I'm still trying to finish Big Money Energy. I should be writing it right now, but you're so beautiful. I wanted to talk to you. So it's bigmoneyenergy.com. Yeah.
All right. So we can pre-order that. Obviously follow you on Instagram, watch your vlogs on YouTube. You're showing some like really creative ways to list property too. So it's really good information for people to watch. So
yeah, you can't take yourself too seriously, no matter what you sell.
That's the thing.
The world, look how crazy the world doesn't take itself seriously anymore. So like everything's insane. Everything's so crazy. You have to have a little fun with it. Why not?
All right. Well, I've had fun with you today. Thanks for taking
the
time.
best.
I know you're super busy. Hope to see you soon in the studio. And
and have your husband give me a call so we can talk about selling your house. Okay.
Okay. Will do.
Thank you.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. Let us know if you have any further questions, so we can reach out to Ryan and let him know in person. All right. Where's my end?